I'm Allison Maloney.
And I'm Sean Kreisman, and this is the National Report.
Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are gearing up for next week when the impeachment trial against President Donald Trump is set to kick off. Will the Dems get the victory they're hoping for, or will the whole thing shoot them in the foot? Keep it right here on National Report.
Of the Democrats making fools of themselves.
Welcome back to National Report. Some striking words there. That was former House Majority Leader Tom DeLay, who's just on the show talking with us about why he believes Democrats have made the impeachment process into what he's calling a political game. And joining us now for some reaction is our A-plus panel for the day. Let's introduce you now. That is former Hillary Clinton advisor. That is Harley Lippman and Kansas GOP Executive Secretary Ilana Rately. Thank you both so much for joining us. Ladies first, I want to get your take, Ilana, on this. Are the Democrats politicizing the impeachment trial, the process?
Is that a trick question? Yes. I mean, obviously, it's very politicized when you look at how it was voted on completely along party lines. The way that this is just an attack on the president that they began before he was even sworn into office. They've been trying to find a way to get him out. So yes, this is very much a partisan procedure as well.
Yeah. Harley, what are your thoughts? I have a feeling you're going to say something different.
Well, you know what's happening is that everybody likes to blame each other. Both parties are guilty of it. So how do you get to the bottom of this? You need to have a fair trial. Simple as that. There's enough evidence. And what does a fair trial mean? It means an impartial judge, a jury by one's peers, evidence given. This is what a fair trial is. And I think that's what the American people are looking for. And let the chips fall where they may.
Ilana, Mr. DeLay was talking about them leaking information to the media. We just had this Lev Parnas interview, his second interview in just a few nights, and we had the GAO report that was released. Is this coincidental?
No, I don't think this is coincidental. I'm sure it's very premeditated. You know, the House had plenty of time to get this evidence out beforehand and do this when it was in their court. And they've delayed the proceedings to try to come up with more evidence, to try to make it a court of public opinion, and pretty much just to continue to slander the president.
Yeah, I'm interested. Let's bring in Harley Lippman now, because I want to stay on this focus again of the timing of it all. No matter, again, what side you're on here. Do you think it's suspect? A lot of people are saying you've got, the Government Accountability Office coming out with their report at the exact same time that you have another potential witness for this, all happening at the exact same time. And Lippman, you talk about fairness. What do you make of this?
Well, if things were contrived, I condemn it. I'm about honesty. And if it was manipulated, then the people should know about that. That's not right. But at the same time, I go back to the basic premise, which is it doesn't, whether it's timed or not timed. The question is, what do the facts present? Did the President of the United States go beyond the law by trying to get a foreign government to launch an investigation into one of his political opponent's sons? That, and to withhold aid, if that's true, that are grounds for impeachment. And the Republicans just go back to motives that the Democrats have wanted to defeat Trump. They never accepted the legitimacy of the last election. Yeah, I'm sure there are some people who feel that way, but most people are in the center. They're not extremist either way. I mean, if you look at the last House election where the Democrats took control, most of the Democrats who won was center or slightly center-right. So I think most people are in that moderate middle group.
So let's talk about the 2020 election. It's expected this trial to last possibly past Iowa caucus, and you're taking senators off the campaign trail. They're sitting there as jurors. What do you think how will this play out? Is this obviously going to help Joe Biden? Ilana, let's hear from you first.
Well, first of all, I don't think the 4 senators who are running for president should be jurors at all. I mean, I think that's very good case for somebody not being an impartial juror. These people are running against him, and I think they would do anything they could to win. So I think they probably should recuse themselves from that. And furthermore, I think, Joe Biden does have the advantage. He's not currently having to be there, so he can get some more time out on the campaign trail. So that is an advantage. But overall, I think the biggest issue here is having partial jurors there in the proceedings.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say real quick, we have a little bit of time left here. I just wanted to get Lippman's take on this as well.
Well, if you're looking at, Joe Biden and the field that's opened now a little more, here's what I'll tell you. I mean, the real Democratic primary is going to be decided after New Hampshire, especially among the African-American community. And they are very mobilized to defeat Trump. So while your previous guest thought that Trump is going to win and win at a very high percentage, remember, in the last election, Hillary got over 3 million more votes than Trump did. And a lot of people did not vote for a variety of reasons.
I want to get this in because I think this is funny. We need a little bit of humor today. Turning to the meme of the day, as the country waited and they watched to see the articles of impeachment against President Trump ceremoniously paraded from the House to the Senate, the internet didn't hesitate to make the solemn moment into a joke and parodies of the march, and they quickly went viral on Twitter. Here are some of our favorites. All right. So what do you think? Are they taking themselves a little too seriously?
Well, I think it's a very serious matter, so I'm not so sure.
Lippman,
I think, well, you said it earlier. You need humor. You need civility. Democrats and Republicans have to get along better. They really do. There's just too much anger out there. They don't even listen to each other. So we're all Americans at the end of the day. I hope in some way we could find room for us being united. I'd like to see nothing more than that.
Yeah, I was wondering why they didn't just email it over.
Yeah, I mean, you really could. This is only played out. This is the third time in our history that this has played out. We understand that. But now in this modern day of technology, do we need that processional of carrying it over? It is, unarguably a very serious situation at the same time. But the ceremony, I don't know. Is it necessary? Do we need to evolve in that fact?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Well, thank you so much, both of you, and you're going to stick around. We'll have more to talk about coming up. Welcome back to National Report. Of all the Democratic candidates running for president, former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg is seen as the most likely to be able to defeat President Trump. That's according to new research from Standard Chartered Bank, which examined how friendly each candidate would be for asset markets. And while you can see Bloomberg is towering over the rest of his Democratic opponents in a hypothetical race against the president, the same research found he only has a 10% chance of winning the nomination. But could the former mayor prove us all wrong and actually come out on top here? Let's bring back our panelists, former Hillary Clinton advisor Harley Lippman and President Trump, and also we have Alana Rately. So what do you think of this? Let's start with Alana. Do you think, we haven't heard that much about Bloomberg, but he's spending a lot of ad money.
He certainly is. He's amounted to 78% of the ad spending so far. And, he's constantly on the air. I mean, we see him all the time. So, that gets into people's heads, and that definitely makes inroads in this contest. He's doing well.
Lippman, I want to bring you in on this one, too. We're talking about impeachment here that's happening. You're going to take some senators off the campaign trail to obviously participate as jurors in this, meaning others will be able to campaign where others may not. Does this change the playing field, especially when it comes to the Iowa caucuses?
Temporarily only. I think the fundamentals are going to rule the roost. People are kind of getting a sense as to who they like, whether it's Bernie or Joe Biden or whoever one of the candidates are. And I think that the moderates, the ones more in the center, Bloomberg and Biden, I think will start to go ahead. It's going to end up being a battle between the liberal progressives, which would most likely create a Trump reelection, or the more moderate centrists. And Bloomberg has a very powerful case to make. You know, he ran the city of New York and made a lot of progress there and could document that. He also earned many billions that he can document that he earned on his own. You know, the criticism of Trump is that he was born on third base and thinks he hit a triple. So.
Yeah, we've seen President Trump go after Senator Warren, Bernie Sanders, Joe Biden on Twitter, but he's kind of he's been quiet when it comes to Bloomberg. But recently, he took a couple of jabs at Bloomberg on Twitter, writing, "Mini Mike Bloomberg ads are purposely wrong, a vanity project for him to get into the game. Nobody in many years has done for the USA what I have done for the USA, including the greatest economy in history, rebuilding our military, biggest ever tax and regulation cuts, and second A." And another tweet, he said, quote, "Mini Michael Bloomberg doesn't get on the Democratic debate stage because he doesn't want to. He's a terrible debater and speaker. If he did, he would go down in the polls even more, if that is possible." So I wonder, do you think that President Trump thinks that Bloomberg could be a contender for him? Alana?
Well, I don't think he would have said anything if he didn't think that. I mean, they have similar backgrounds in many ways. But the comment on not attending the debates or debating on those, we know that's really not true, because you can't even qualify for the debates without a certain amount of fundraising. You have to do that. And because Bloomberg is self-financing, he won't be doing any of those debates just based on that.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, just for us to be talking, I just want to play devil's advocate here, because we say that, Trump tweets about essentially his rivals, but he does tweet about Cory Booker, who dropped off the race as well. He likes to poke in here and there. I don't know how much you can dive into this, but then when you correlate it with the stats, look at what we're talking about here. Mm-hmm. We're talking about Bloomberg being a contender. Well, he spent, more than $200 million already on his campaign, where they combined have spent more than $222 million, I think, already. So is his money paying off? You're a former advisor to Hillary Clinton, Lippman. What do you think here? What's he doing right?
Well, I agree with Alana twice already. What he's doing right is getting into people's heads. His commercials are everywhere, and they're very effective. So, there are people who have commercials that are not effective, but his are very good. So he's making inroads there. But I think where he's stubbing his toe, and where the number 10% comes from, is the American people want candidates to earn it. He's got to get out there and campaign. Otherwise, it's going to feel too much that he's buying it all, that, it's all about his money. And that's not going to serve him well.
He's been focused, obviously he's not been on the debate stage, and he's been focused on the swing states. Do you think that that's going to go for him or against him, Alana?
I think that's a good strategy. A lot of the early states, he was too late to really make an impact on. So I think that's a good way to go. Again, I think his most difficult piece is he hasn't been out doing the grassroots efforts, but he has over 1,000 staffers already with guaranteed jobs through November, and they're paid twice as much as other campaigns. I mean, good staffers make a huge difference. So he's definitely running a very good campaign.
Well, I wonder what happens now. I'll let you continue that, Lippman. Do you want to follow up to that?
Yeah, and I think that's all correct and true, but he's got to get out there. He's got to mingle with the people. He's got to press the flesh, shake hands, hold babies. You got to have that outgoing retail politician persona. Bill Clinton has it. Obama has it. Trump has it. You need that kind of man of the people charisma, and he's got it, but he's got to show it, or I don't think the spending money on the campaigns are enough.
We'll continue to see what happens there as the impeachment plays out. The senators that are running are going to stay out of it. And then what's going to happen with Bloomberg? We appreciate your time. Harley, Lippman, and Alana Raitley, thanks so much for joining us. All right, enjoy your weekend. Coming up as the